Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Morris Miller. He's the CEO of Xenex Disinfection Services to discuss the LightStrike Germ-Zapping Robots that destroy the virus that creates the COVID-19. So great to have you with us, Morris. Thanks so much for joining me on Trade Talks. Now tell us about Xenex.
So at Xenex, we make a germ zapping robot is what we call it. It's you can see it just on my left, maybe on your viewer's right. And it's a xenon lamp inside of a robot. You bring it in. Typically, it's been done in hospital rooms. You expose those hospital rooms to high intensity, broad spectrum light, and it kills the pathogens that cause infections. Clearly, because of COVID-19, this has been brought to the top of everybody's mind.
Now, this is the first and only technology proven to destroy the virus that causes COVID-19.
That's right. We went to the Texas Biomedical Research Institute, and there we tested against the actual SARS-CoV-2 virus. That's really the most frequent question that any facility, whether it's a nursing home, a hospital, a hotel, or any place else would have, is does it kill the actual SARS-CoV-2 virus? And we can say without a doubt, this absolutely does. In fact, it's the only product in the world proven against actual SARS-CoV-2 to kill it, which means that people that are exposed to those environments aren't going to, they're likely not to get COVID-19 from them.
So have these robots been deployed anywhere around the US?
Yeah, currently they're in use in more than 500 hospitals, a lot more than 500 hospitals around the United States. Around the world, they've been used as of yesterday 22.8 million times. That's 22.8 million rooms that have been disinfected with a LightStrike robot. And an interesting number is that a room is disinfected somewhere in the world by a LightStrike robot every 4.6 seconds.
Wow. So for the average hospital room size, how quickly does the disinfection take place?
So in a typical hospital room, just kind of like what you see behind me, we'll run it on the left side of the bed, and then we'll flip everything in the room, cell phones, remote controls, nurses' call buttons, and then we'll run it on the right side of the bed for 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes in the bathroom. For SARS-CoV-2, what the Institute proved is that we can completely disinfect it, 4-log reduction, 99.99%. That's actually the limits of the test in 2 minutes. So if you're going after SARS-CoV-2 and you don't have a hospital that has things like C. diff, then 2 minutes on each side of the bed and you should be good to go.
Wow, that's quite incredible. Outside of COVID-19, what are some other use cases for the robot?
So over the years, we've seen some usage in schools, gyms, places like hotels. That has skyrocketed. So restaurants want it, hotels want it, office buildings want it, gymnasiums, and then schools have been requesting it. We've seen a number, there's been a number of actual boarding schools where alumni have called us and just said that they want to donate it. And then we're seeing a lot of public school systems call us and say, we'd like to implement this starting in the summer for the fall so that we have a much more or a much less pathogenic environment for our students going forward. Doctors' offices, that's another place that's been recently calling and demanding it. Really, they want to get people back to work, and they want to instill confidence in the public that they can come back into these public spaces without fear of getting sick.
Yeah, I would imagine the process to pivot to be able to meet up with the demand must be quite incredible.
Yep, we've opened up numerous production lines. We're now running them 2-3 shifts a day, depending upon where we are. Literally, I was looking back just this past weekend. This really all started for us February 5th. And since February 5th, our manufacturing teams have been working really 7 days a week. We have a holiday coming up on Monday. We've asked everybody to get ahead of production because we really want them to take time with their families just on Monday, and then we'll get right back to it. And then the leadership team has been here the entire time to both cheer them on and make sure that they've got all the parts that they need to build robots.
Well, thank you to your leadership team and everyone that's working so hard to keep us safe. Morris, on the other side of COVID-19, what does this look like? Do you think we will have learned anything from this pandemic? How it's going to change our lives completely?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a similar thing happen, similar to what happened after 9/11. After 9/11, you saw the TSA invention, you saw the Department of Homeland Security. I think we know from a government standpoint, we're in about 70 plus VA hospitals, 13 DoD facilities. From a government standpoint, we know that they're very concerned about keeping the people who protect us protected. They want to keep them safe. So they're aware of it. And we think that in general in society, when we look at the pull that we're seeing from hotels, the people in the US are going to demand disinfection. And we're seeing very similar pull across the globe in places like Singapore, Japan, Thailand, Italy, France. They're no longer going to put up with places that might or might not be pathogenic. And when it only takes 2 minutes to run a proper disinfection cycle, there's really no excuse not to do it and to protect your patrons.
Yep, certainly agreed there. Thank you so much for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you, Jill.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.